Hey everyone, it's Jimmy here from GamesCastLive.com. Welcome to another episode of Level Up, our local review show. Today we're going to be checking out Dead Rising 2 as well as FIFA 11, so let's jump straight into it. So Dead Rising 2 is obviously the sequel to 2006's Dead Rising, which was a Xbox 360 exclusive. This time, however, it's on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. But this time around, you don't play as the original protagonist Frank West. This time the game's set a few years later in a Las Vegas-esque type city known as Fortune City. You play as Chuck Green, who is an ex-Supercross rider who's kind of got mixed up in this whole reality show where America's kind of commercialized the zombie outbreak and put them in these gladiator type shows where contestants kill zombies for points. And Chuck Green, he's kind of the star of the show, but he's a little held back, but somehow the zombies escape and Chuck Green is essentially framed for it. So the whole premise of the game is that Chuck Green has 72 hours to clear his name before the military arrives. And people usually, as soon as they see it's a zombie game, they assume there's no real story here, but that couldn't be more far from the truth, because Dead Rising 2 is an incredible story. It's filled with a whole bunch of interesting characters you bump into and have to interact with. And there's even an emotional anchor. His daughter's there who provides a lot of depth to the story, and it's very good. It's one thing that Capcom have always kept with the Dead Rising series, is that it's got a perfect blend of comedic humor as well as horror, and it blends together perfectly. And even though the game has frightening moments, it's always got a tongue-in-cheek notion to it, and everything about it is a bit over the top, but that's perfect because that's exactly what Capcom's all about. So Dead Rising 2's story is impressively phenomenal, and it's very surprising for the most part, so that we were very happy with. In terms of gameplay in Dead Rising 2, you're faced with cases which act as your missions. These missions happen on a certain hour at a certain time, and these act as your underlying plot missions which follow and progress the story. But while you wait for those to initiate, you have a whole wealth of side missions where you have to rescue people or visit people or find people, and there's a lot of variety in the way you play the game because you don't have to do everything, and you don't have to do everything in any sort of chronological order, but as long as you get the main story missions done when they need to be done, you can progress through the game. Another feature of the game are the psychopath battles. These are mini boss battles whereby you fight people who have lost their minds due to the outbreak. They're not necessarily infected, but they've kind of just gone a little crazy, and they're obviously a lot faster than the zombies, they're smarter than the zombies, and they have unique attacks. So you have to engage in these little boss battles with characters you've either met or will meet, and they add a nice variation to the game and give you a little break from just hacking away at zombies, which is still awesome anyway. To make the zombie killing even better, another core feature of Dead Rising 2 has been added. This is the combo weapon system. Basically, you can combine any two weapons that you find around the level. You have to head to these little maintenance shops which are scattered across the huge map, and you can combine a multitude of different weapons to create the most bizarre and ridiculous weapons. But it is so awesome. You can make the craziest things. It's not even like the obvious things whereby you use a spear and a knife. It's boxing gloves and motor oil, or a power drill and a bucket. So it really adds a whole new dimension to the combat, and it's just a whole bunch of fun. You really let your imagination go wild, and it reinforces that comedic interplay that this game is known for, and it's such a great and welcomed addition. While zombies can look pretty gross, Dead Rising 2 is a very good looking game. It doesn't look very different from the predecessor, but it's still a phenomenal looking game. Chuck looks very awesome. The cutscenes are really great, and although there's a few little touches that need be in some small places, the whole presentation is phenomenal, and the amount of zombies you have on screen definitely compensate for anything the game lacks. So it's a very cool looking game. At the end of the day, Dead Rising 2 is one of those games that rewards perseverance and game time, and fans of the franchise can rest assured that it's still as awesome as ever. It's bigger, it's badder, it's better at everything it does, and anyone who has any interest in the game, whether you have a brain or not, should definitely check it out.